Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound really good. Is
Okay.
this a smartphone or is this a flip phone?
It's a smartphone. I gave up the flip phone. I got to go back to it.
Oh, okay. That was one of the, I was going to ask you that. I mean, how are you existing without a smartphone? Because that's actually a fantasy of mine, is getting rid of my smartphone. If I didn't have this job, I probably would just go back to a regular talk text flip phone, that took shitty pictures.
Me too.
You know.
Why that job? What's that job have to do with it?
Well, it's radio, so social media has added a whole new dimension to it. So, we promote the radio station, the show, events that we do, try to do added content. So it's kind of just another dimension of doing radio. If I wasn't doing this, if I was like a landscaper, I'd be like, screw this, I'm just getting a flip phone.
It's so bad. It's so annoying, the regular phone. So much anger and hate. I got to get off it. I really got to get off it.
But you can't. You can't. I mean,
you can. It was like a good 5-year period. I had a flip. It was awesome. I got to get back to it.
Well, why did you get back to a smartphone?
I got dragged in. I thought I had to promote a special or something, and I was like, all right, well, I need it for a little bit for something, and then it just been an immediate addiction.
Yeah. It's the social media thing. It makes but it.
Yes, exactly. It's just wasted time.
Yeah, it shouldn't
wasted an hour or two.
It shouldn't be like that, though.
It used to be you were wasting your time when you watch too much TV, and now if you watch Netflix, you're like, that was good. You caught up on stuff. That was actually really good.
Yeah, right? So you got 2 shows, or actually you got 3 shows coming up at the Wilbur. You're going to be there Thursday.
3 shows at the Wilbur.
Yeah, and Friday, and the Wrong Side of History tour. I got to tell you, I've watched Jew a couple of times, and I got to tell you, you are spot on about the Shabbos goy, because I am the highest level of goy. I am. I live across the street from a rabbi and his family, and
then you use electricity all the time.
Oh, the wife, who's the sweetest woman, will come and she'll just knock very lightly, on our door. Sometimes it takes us a while to hear because she can't use the doorbell. And then I'm over there, and the one thing you totally nailed was plugging in the air conditioner and setting it. I spent like a good 30 minutes, her and her son arguing about where I should set the air conditioner. And then you totally nailed it, because I was walking out the door. She said, take some hollow with you. I was like, yes. You totally nailed that. So it's good to know that I'm at the highest level of goys.
Congratulations, dude. You'll be saved during the new tunnel digging. Revolution of tunnels.
So, with Jew, you pretty much, I hate to use this word. It was very educational, but it was funny. So what are you tackling on the Wrong Side of History tour?
This is mostly actually just kind of staying off social media and the media in general, and just trying to stay happy and positive about everything. Yeah, and mostly just degenerate, dirty jokes. Mostly that, That's just, what I was talking about. It's just a weird under theme, but mostly it's just dirty jokes about drug addiction and all the terrible stuff in the world.
Yeah, you talk quite a bit about, and you're not ashamed of it. Or you're not trying to hide it, and you're not exactly saying it's not a good choice either, which I kind of admire, being a cannabis enthusiast you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not even weird anymore. It's legal everywhere. It's not even outlaw anymore. You do this cool thing. I was just it's lower. Cigarettes are cooler than weed now.
Yeah, exactly. They put tobacco smokers in a certain type, a little jail cell area. I never thought I'd see it in my lifetime, but it's kind of lost a little fun because of that. Would you agree?
Yeah. Although now, if you're smoking weed and some guy's like, dude, can I get a toke? You're like, no, go buy it.
Yeah.
Degenerate, go buy it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like if you're drinking a Coca-Cola, they're like, can I get a sip? Like, dude, no. Yeah, so at least now they can do that. But, yeah, it's not cool at all. It sucks.
I still get that feeling when I go to a dispensary, even when I'm just buying one pre-roll. And I go back out to the car and I'm looking around. I'm driving the speed limit back home. And I keep forgetting, oh, wait, it's totally legal here. I don't have to hide anymore, which is nice.
Yeah, the first time I was buying from a dispensary in L.A., when I used to live there, and you had a feeling of oh, my God, I'm doing something wrong. And I came out of the store, I turned left, I saw a cop at the light while I was walking right towards him. He was north-south, I was going east-west. And I was like, oh, no, I was a cop. And then I realized, oh, this is totally legal.
right.
It's not a problem at all. And then And then I looked at my other hand. I had a bag of mushrooms for my friend, and I was like, "Oh, this is actually illegal."
Yeah, that's not yet anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you experiment with mushrooms, like, when you go on stage? Do you do it, or do you just save that stuff for the off time?
I don't experiment with it. I just do it. There ain't a science there. Just drugs, bro.
Oh, that's awesome. Do they have kosher mushrooms?
They actually are all kosher. I got in a discussion with some Hasidic Jews once. They're totally kosher. Weed is kosher. You just can't do it on the Sabbath. Mushrooms you can do whenever.
Wait, you can't do weed on the Sabbath? Is that a real thing?
You can do edibles. You can't use fire.
Oh, you can't use fire, right?
Yeah, so you can't smoke cigarettes, but you can do edibles if you want.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm gonna mention that to my rabbi neighbor next time. Like, hey, you guys want some edibles for your party? Because they throw big parties for all the holidays, and they're awesome. I mean, there's
they do it the right way too. They kick the women out. They do it all men.
Yeah,
so like chicks eat it.
Yeah, they have all the men in one room, and they're like they're singing at the top of their lungs. They're laying out their souls, man. It's like I can feel it. It's awesome. And then and all the ladies are in a totally separate part of the house. I want to ask you this question, and it's come up before in a different context. You are not afraid to tackle taboo subjects, obviously, with your stand up, and one of those is the Holocaust. And during Jew, you bring it up several times, and you bring up there's that part where you ask the crowd about Jewish stereotypes, and people just start yelling them out left and right, which to me, watching it, I was like, first it was funny, but then people kept yelling at them. Like, this is getting a little cringy. It was. I was like, now are they just like, it's like, is this like someone just trying to validate their feelings, like non-Jewish people just yelling stuff out? My question to you is, can a non-Jewish comedian tell Holocaust jokes?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, because that it's kind of like the African American thing, where it's like an African American can make fun of white people all they want.
Easier. That's for Joel. No, you can see. I wasn't in the Holocaust, so why can I make Holocaust jokes? Black people here weren't around slavery. How come they can do it? It's just a question of how much you relate to this situation. There's this artist who made a painting. A white artist made a painting about Emmett Till. Everyone got mad at her in the black community. And then they were like, "How dare you do it?" She goes, "Well, I'm a mom. I'm related to this as a mother who lost her kid. You're telling me because I'm not a black mom, I can't relate to it? That's ridiculous." And then all the artists kind of came together and defended her. But there's just a theory from freaking idiots that you have to be exactly of a type to see a statistic or to see a history story or see anything. That's ridiculous. No. I can make fun of Europe without being European. People say you can't make fun of things if you're not that morons who actually hate those people. Who think they're get out of here. I can make fun of the weather in a place without living there. That's dumb. No, I don't see that. You can see the ridiculousness of a situation without being of that situation.
But don't you think that there is a line though, right? I mean, you can between crafting a joke about the Holocaust or about being a certain race.
For Jews and non-Jews, it's to say people. If you just do it. If I just say I'm glad the Holocaust happened, it doesn't matter if I was Jewish or not Jewish. If I'm saying, there's a line, I guess. There's no line. It's just how well you do it. But it doesn't matter if you're of a race or not of a race, of a situation or not of a situation. The line is just like, did you try to make it funny? Did you make it funny? It might be easier to make it funny if you're from there because people think like you don't have any malice. But that's your job as a craftsman to like make it seem without malice. And sometimes you fail. And by the way, I've had plenty of people walk out on me when I make Holocaust jokes. They didn't get it. So to them, I crossed the line. Other people were laughing. To them, I didn't cross the line. I don't buy any of that based on what you are is what you're allowed to say or what you're allowed to see in the world. I think that's stupid. So no. But if you get up there and just hate speech, be like, I think the Jews should be put in concentration camps with no jokes. What does it matter if you're a Jew or not?
What do you think about – I was reading an interview with you. I think it was Vice, and you were saying that I don't want to get – I'm paraphrasing here, that you think comedians kind of switching over to politics here, comedians who comment on politics shouldn't do that. You think it's lazy?
It's almost always I see it as lazy, unless you're like a political comedian. But, yeah, it's like usually when you see any artist, any musician or anybody start commenting on politics online, that's the end of their good art. You say anytime you see a musician, a painter, or an actor, maybe an actress, they're not really artists in the first place, they're just idiots. But like anybody who does something like a creative, when you see them start talking about social issues or politics, that's you can see their actual work, their music, their comedy, whatever. It's going to start suffering. It's almost a 1-to-1. They start getting worse because it's just like they don't make jokes about the politics in comedy. They just say like, "Well, I think Trump is terrible. Well, I think Biden's terrible," and it's like, well, where's the joke there? Where's the
Right.
play on words? At
Right.
least Bob Dylan would make a song about the war and not just take an article online or an article in the newspaper saying we have to leave this war. He'd make a song about it. So if you're gonna make a good joke about politics, okay, but I don't think it's lazy to talk about it. I think they are lazy the way they do it. Not always lazy, but it's like they don't make any jokes. These are the best comedians, the funniest people in the world, and they're just being serious online. It's so lame. You see me doing that, call me on it.
Well, what if their opinion is not? Just curious. What if their opinion is well informed?
Then make a joke. Make a well-informed joke. Bob Dylan wrote a song about Hurricane Carter, about this guy who was wrongly accused of murder. He made a song about it. He was well-informed. He made a really good song about it with a good beat. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. That
he didn't just write an article about it.
Right.
Yeah, well-informed is okay. Make a joke about. I was well-informed about the Jewish stuff.
Right.
But I'm making jokes about it. I'm not just saying. So anyway, so here's what happens. If a non-Jew is nearby, they can actually be asked to turn on electricity for a Jew. And you're like, well, that's not a joke.
Right.
The highest level of goy. That part's the joke part.
Yeah, that's the joke part. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, you can totally be well-informed, but you're some level of artist.
Right.
You're a comedian, you're a musician, you're a writer. Do the art part.
Right. As long as it's in that medium that they are an expert on. Right. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely.
Write a poem about it if you're a poet, but don't just tweet.
Now, do you still live in Austin, Texas?
No, I never lived here. I am here right now, but I don't live there. I just go there a lot. My friend is rich, and he owns a club.
Oh, okay. Because I was just wondering, like, does an environment matter to you? Like, if you do a show in Austin as compared to like Los Angeles, do you get a different vibe from that as opposed to Des Moines or Boston?
Yeah, you will. My crowd's degenerates. They're real pieces of crap, so it's fun. But anyway, but I'll get like a Des Moines piece of crap versus a Boston piece of crap versus so it's a little different.
Right.
Or if you're playing in Europe, you got to know what they know. So in Europe, like I had a joke about something to do with Altoids, and they're like, we don't know what that is. So it's like, oh, okay. So I had to change to mint, right? If you're doing a joke about some congressman, they're going to be like, I don't know what you're talking about. But also, sometimes I try to take something to people that are going to make them more upset. So like in D.C., I'll try to do like an anti-political don't vote stuff. I know that in D.C., they're like, how dare you say that? So I'm like, of course I'm going to say it. I want to rile you up. And Boston, is like, if I'm talking about ugly women, Boston has some of the ugliest women in the world.
Oh, my God.
So of course I'm going to talk about that,
How dare you, sir? How dare you? You know what, man?
They're so ugly, they're clear.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to those shows at the Wilbur. Please, non-attractive women, stay out of the building this coming Thursday night.
You can come. Just don't get it too high yourself.
Thursday night, and then is it 2 shows on Friday at the Wilbur?
2 shows on Friday, 1 show on Thursday.
All right.
The first show Friday sold out, and I love it there. What a great town for comedy.
Oh yeah, a lot of energy. So Ari Shaffir, thank you so much, man. We're looking forward to seeing you at the Wilbur tomorrow, Thursday, and on Friday, man. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, buddy.